Action Comics 976, which is the final part of Superman Reborn, written by Dan Jurgens and art by Doug Mankey. So, this was good. This was
Yeah.
good.
It went down pretty much how we expected.
And that is almost a negative that I think sort of pulls it down a little bit, in the sense that it just kind of did what we thought it was going to do. And it was good, it was all well done, and it did the thing we wanted it to do. But it did. It played out exactly as we thought it
It's
might.
hard to complain, but it's hard to go, oh, it blew me away, because it's just like, well, yeah, it did exactly what it set out to do. We knew what it was going to do because it was so well seeded. I was like, okay, cool, we get it. This is just, you've got to do this issue.
Yep, that's Superman and Superwoman. That's Superman and Lois merged with their New 52 counterparts, and their timelines have been merged so that everything is in continuity and everything just sort of is merged to make sense. The only thing that doesn't quite make sense, going by this, everything happened in both kind of thing, if we're still in the timeline from New 52, it does mean that John's now in the same boat as Damien, in that how was there enough time for him to exist?
Well, no, because there's the 10 years that have been stolen, right? So it was like, okay, something happened in those 10 years, and then it crunched, and that's when the Clarks split.
Well, yeah, but we don't have those 10 years back yet.
Well, no, but John's an anomaly. That's the point. He happened in those 10 years, presumably, but he's an anomaly. So
No, but Connor, they say it's all merged at the end of this issue, that it makes sense now. The memories of both have aligned.
Yeah.
So,
but that still doesn't mean that there's not something strange afoot.
Of course, there's still something strange afoot. Yeah, there's still 10 years missing. But what I'm saying is it puts John in the same boat as Damien, and the timeline doesn't add up. All the characters around him are supposed to now remember things as if he was always there. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like you said, it's the same with Damien, but with Damien...
but Connor's arguing me. So
but Damien's is like... See, this is the thing. It depends when they splintered, right? With these two Clarks. Because they have complete separate lives.
See, but at this point they didn't. Everything got rewritten.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It wiped out New 52, brought in the Flashpoint stuff, right?
Yeah.
And Connor, it's not like they were both living the same life and then it splintered and then they went in their own ways.
Yeah.
When New 52 happened and they splintered, their entire history got splintered.
Right. So in a meta way, this is them going, hey, we should have never split up Lois and Clark and tried to make them cool 20-somethings.
Yeah.
Instead, let's do what we should have done and made them, 30-something parents of a 10-year-old.
Well, that is the only thing, though, is they feel de-aged, and that's fine. If they wanted to do that, they did that. Yeah. And that's kind of what makes John an anomaly. But that's the only thing I mean about putting him in the same boat as Damien, where it's the same thing with Damien, where so Batman was supposed to be Batman before he had sex with Talia, and Damien was conceived and born, but the whole timelines might have happened in 5 years, kind of thing. That's all I mean.
Damien was accelerated in a test tube.
Sure.
That's true.
Sure. This is more efficient.
She had so many of them, though, too.
Yeah. Like especially in the Batman Inc. stuff, where Heretic, that was a fully grown version of Damien. So I just assumed that they were all sped up, and our Damien was sped up a bit as well.
New 52 bollocks. That's not what I actually meant.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but...
Here's how I'm looking at this merger here, right? I think for the people who for some reason think of New 52 Superman as their Superman and were annoyed when Superdad came on the scene, for them this gives them an easy write-off saying, oh, it's technically still him, he's equally part of him. Whereas for me, all I'm reading from it is, no, it's still really our Superman, they've just de-aged him a bit, and we've wiped out the fact that there's a duplicate and we're just back on track.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
My one problem with this is the whole Lois and Clark relationship and her getting pregnant. And then 10 years down the line, there's a Superboy, with Superman. It doesn't do a lot to help keep a secret identity in Metropolis.
Well, yeah, but that's the other thing, though, is that this resets kind of what we can think of as classic Superman, because now the whole secret identity being out of the bag is gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now Clark can go back to the planet. So
because Lois would never out him, even if it was to save things.
Yeah.
That always just felt so hollow in the New 52. And if New 52 Superman is your Superman, I'm very, very sorry. You need to go read Mark Waid's Birthright and just go from there.
I think I'm just
all the bad New 52 stuff.
I think I'm just sorry for you in multiple levels. Sorry that you only
Yeah.
read Bad Superman. Sorry that you clearly have some sort of problem in your life. That you're turning to these weird stories to to fix them. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. It was a good issue. I thought the aging thing was a little bit weird because all the promo stuff of the upcoming Superman stuff, he looks a bit older still than this. So I don't know if they just drew him a bit young accidentally looking in this.
Yeah, it may just be
I
inconsistent.
mean, I'm looking at the big splash page that has the time fixing itself,
Yeah.
and you look on the bottom left corner with Jimmy. Jimmy looks like he's 14.
Yeah, he does.
So I mean, think they were trying, but I just caught that right now.
He
has
a really creepy grin on his face as well.
Yeah, well, that's his best friend's kid. I mean,
I think. Obviously, I think the more exciting stuff was the Mixie started talking about. Oh, you're messing with reality. You two finding each other again and try to fix it because the power of love and whatever. You fixing this, he's going to notice. The one who orchestrated everything and messed all this stuff up is going to notice that you're kind of forcing things to fix themselves. He's not going to be happy. All that kind of stuff was kind of obviously intriguing. And then Oz was kind of reiterating the same thing again at the end.
Yeah.
With less fear in his voice, admittedly. Mixie was scared shitless of Manhattan.
Now, here's the thing. Do we think that Oz is going to be revealed to be a hero keeping Manhattan in check? And that's why he's doing this? He's kind of letting the table still be set so Manhattan doesn't notice from Mars? Or do you think he is working in conjunction with Manhattan to keep this going?
Well, it depends how you look at it. Like, is he taking people off the board, as it were, and imprisoning them because he's worried that they will, like Superman kind of has, force like a recollection or the timeline to maybe try and recorrect itself because, maybe Tim would eventually inspire that or something like that. And is he trying to keep the board looking the same so that Manhattan doesn't notice and try and intercede again? Or
I think for me that makes it seem like he isn't a villain and his work is working against Manhattan. Is he took Mixie, so Mixie didn't mess things up. He's like, no, you'll get in the way, and it's like you might draw his attention. That's
what I'm thinking of. If he's just because if he is Ozymandias, which we all kind of guess he is, he has his own plan in play. And I almost say if he's working against Manhattan, he wants to do it without Mixie messing things up. You don't want to draw too much attention, right? Like if you're a burglar, you don't want to attack a house with a dog because it's going to make too much noise, Yeah,
so, I think for me it's too much that they say he looks so villainous with the ominous hood and the hiding the face.
But
he's taking Tim.
Yeah, and I just feel like that's set up for a swerve, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It feels kind of too obvious, doesn't it?
It could be.
So
maybe it's more murky than that. Maybe he's not being as evil as Manhattan, but he is out for his own reasons, his own gain.
Yeah. Well, that lines up with Watchmen because that was the whole story of that. It was kind of Ozzy versus Manhattan and Ozzy manipulating Manhattan.
That's it though. If he is trying to face against him and he does ultimately turn out to be heroic, I'll buy it to a point because I feel like he is the sort of person who plays the long game. Like, why is he taking these people off the board? Is he ultimately doing something? But then again, why is he imprisoning them and not just telling them and say, you need to stay here for X reason?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It reminds me of the Monitor in Crisis.
Yeah. At the very least, it makes him... At the very least, it makes him cold. Like, even if he's doing it for the right reasons, it makes him cold and not...
Well,
absolutely.
Right. And that's indicative of the Watchmen universe too. Like it's all. So I don't know. I'm grasping at things.
That said, though, I did love the way it teased him at the end because the way he'd be like, "Wait, is this fixing things enough for him not to notice, or will he?" And the panel goes from like Earth to the Moon and then the Moon to Mars, and you're like,
Mars.
Yeah.
Is he just up there?
Him? And I asked, and it says, is it Superman who has the final say, or him? And I like that he's putting Superman on level with Dr. Manhattan. I
like the idea that he Oz isn't sure if Manhattan's going to be pissed at someone's altered reality like when it wasn't him, like behind his back or
Right.
whatever, and he might be pissed about it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Although, what if this is all just a massive swerve and it's Martian Manhunter? Like,
I
he's
was
stuck
just
on
gonna say-
Mars.
I'm not sure it's that Manhattan would be angry, because angry isn't really his thing, is it? I
Okay,
think
sure.
it's more that he'd see things were changing, and his curiosity would be like, what's going on there? And that's when he peeks his head again. Everything that he
Or-
does is kind of because he can. He's never really
Okay,
emotional
sure.
about it.
Okay, sure. Anger was probably just a poor word on my part. I didn't really mean necessarily to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
pissed off at it, but just in the way that
No.
he'll see it happening and go, wait, why is this happening? This isn't right. I'm going to go and fix it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. And it also could be the inverse that Ozzy has, set up Dr. Manhattan to take the fall, right?
Hmm.
And it's really him just manipulating things. And if Manhattan notices, he could undo it all. And that's what he doesn't want. You stay on Mars building your clock castle.
Okay,
You know?
so Matt's making a bold prediction. End of the event in 2018 in the summer, because it was a 2-year plan. End of that event
Yep.
is going to be Manhattan revealing that he's actually the good guy. Oz has been manipulating him, and at the end he will fix it and reset the universe for everyone.
No, not reset. No,
Well, not
it's
reset.
about
Okay, reset's a poor choice of word, but you know what I mean. Like,
that. Yeah.
alter it. Give the 10 years back.
There's so much, there's just so much going on here on so many different levels. And this is, again, what I had a problem with New 52 is everything was just so shallow. And it didn't seem like there was long-term planning and even guesses, whatever. It was kind of like Superman Reborn was the New 52 in a nutshell, where it's like, oh, we kind of see where this is going. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but certainly with the New 52 wasn't good. So, and I think Reborn just came in and undid everything and set things back up where it needed to be. And that also begs the question, too, if there was never New 52 Clark and Lois, then what's up with Superwoman? Right? Because how did Lana get powers if there was never
Well,
a New
Matt,
52 Clark?
we have Aftermath issues next month, and Superwoman's one of those. I fully expect we're going to get that. It did say, when it said it was being rewritten, though, when Oz said it was being rewritten, he did mention everyone connected to them is affected by it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out, obviously, in all these Aftermath issues. Looking forward to him showing up in Supergirl as well, and all these other things. Should be interesting. But that's Action Comics. End of Superman Reborn. Fun little event. I think it was a lot more focused on one specific thing than we maybe thought it was.
Yep.
Yeah, because obviously we went in knowing that this was obviously the outcome, but I think we expected it to be more than just this. But ultimately it was just this.
Because ultimately it ended up just being Mixie for a lot of it. A lot of it was about Mixapitalik.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining. I like Mixapitalik. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while. So
I think my only problem with the story in general is it still feels like this is course correction. This is still fixing the universe from the New 52's mess. And it's like, okay, we're a year on and we're still having to do an entire month of stories just to fix
Honestly,
that shit
Connor,
rather than tell its own story.
Connor, that just shows you how big the mess was.
Oh, it does. And it's something that it had to be done, but it's annoying that we had to spend a month. As good as it was and enjoyable as it was, this could have been its own story entirely different instead of fixing shit that didn't need to be broken in the first place.
But like, it's still, like you said, I am happy I read it. I'm probably going to get the trade. I'm going to mount these issues with the Frank covers in order on my wall here because it looks so great. So, even though if it was a fix and it was like them cutting the Gordian knot because it's just so knotted up that you can't but destroy what came before, then that's fine. I've experienced, a Superman fan, I've experienced far, far, far worse.
Yeah, and
a waste of my time than a fixing.
Yeah,
so,
and Jurgens and Tomasi did manage to make it enjoyable, even if it was ultimately just fixing.
Oh,
but
and that Dini backup with Mixie and playing with all the different mediums.
That was fantastic. Yeah,
exactly, and we got that because of that. So
that was great.